Welcome to my presentation. In my global context course, I looked into the work of different artists, taking inspiration from their art and applying it to my own projects. This presentation will cover the three main parts. First, the artists I researched for sequential narrative and the Hampton Court Palace project. Second, the artists I studied for the British Museum project. Third, my visit to the gallery in London. Part 1. Sequential narrative and Hampton Court Palace. When learning about sequential narrative, I looked into two illustrators, Geoff Garfield and Charles Keeping. Geoff Garfield keeps his illustration simple and avoids adding too much details. Instead, he focuses on how the composition and colors work together. In one piece, he draws a blue frieze veil against a dark background. This technique, which uses a focal point, like in film composition, instantly grabs attention. The frieze veil is placed at the golden ratio point of the image, while the gray clouds guide our eyes, making the whole piece feel full of storytelling. There are more of Geoff's work on the right. He often gets ideas from novels and films, which is something I can learn from. As an illustration student, it's a good reminder to draw inspiration from my own hobbies to build up my creative library of ideas. Charles Keeping, on the other hand, is known for his Josephine's Yard series, which he created using ink. He is renowned for his stylistic line work and his ability to convey emotional depths through the use of color and brush textures. He uses fine ink lines, shadows, and empty space to bring out the details in cityscapes and characters. Most of his pieces are done with pen and ink, but sometimes he adds brush strokes to make his work feel more alive and emotional. What I love most about Charles' work is how he tells a story. He doesn't just rely on clean techniques or perfect compositions. He uses textures and color to add meaning. For example, in one of his pieces, a flower starts off bright red and slow darkness into a gloomy black-purple as it swells, showing the main character's sadness through the changing color. In my free time, I rewatched Stanley Kubrick's 2001, A Space Odyssey. His visuals are incredible. He uses symmetry, geometric shapes, and a real sense of depth to create a mind-blowing experience. Kubrick is known for his symmetrical shots, where everything feels perfectly balanced, and he uses this to show themes like order, the cold nature of technology, and the vastness of space. First, symmetry and balance. In sense inside the space station or spacecraft, the symmetry isn't just visually striking. It also reflects the human's needs to explore and control the unknown. Second, geometric shapes and lines. Shapes like circles, straight lines, and curves are everywhere in the movie. I see them in the round space station, the spacecraft design, and even the planet's orbit path. They give this film this clean, futuristic look that combines technology with nature. Third, depth and space. Kubrick is amazing at creating a sense of depth in his shots. He uses vantage points to draw my eye and make the scenes feel layered and immersive. Thinking about the long space station corridors, the circular tunnels inside the spacecraft, or the way the bright shape stands out against the blackness of space, it all makes me feel the sheer scale of the universe. Watching the film gave me so much inspiration, and apply some of these ideas to the narrative project I worked on for Hampton Court Palace. Part 2. British Museum Project, the artists I researched. During my visit to the British Museum, I was immediately drawn to the orrery, an educational model of the solar system. Space has always been a fascinating thing to explore and create around. So for my culture and identity project, I decided to look into the work of Morissetta, a surrealism collage artist inspired by celestial bodies and the universe. Art inspired by outer space and galaxy dates back as early as the 19th century. Even today, the beauty and the mysterious of the cosmos continue to captivate and influence artists, including Morissetta. Her surrealism collages are always connected to space. For example, in her piece, Space Queen, planets from the Queen's Crow set against a backdrop of deep, starry space. The artwork feels both surrealism and imaginative, sparking a sense of wonder about the endless possibilities of the universe. When working on my own project, I researched the paper carving artist Morgana Wallace. Paper carving art stands out because of the thickness of the paper, which creates shadows and projections in the final illustrations. Unlike flat illustration, paper carving adds a sense of depth and tactile quality to the artwork. Morgana's piece, Day and Night, uses a clever monochromatic color scheme and combines the textures of paper and watercolor, with natural shadow enhancing the fairy tale-like feel of her work. Then, she created dynamic illustration using cut-out and natural light, making it feel like a fairy tale coming to life, offering an immersive experience. I really admire her artistic style, and I have incorporated some of these elements into my own project. Part 3. My visit to the gallery in London. On November 2012, I visited the Leap Year exhibition by Yufan Yang. Yufan Yang is known for her experimental use of variety of materials in her art. She often works with everyday objects like blinds, foil, fabric, light bulbs, metal, and glass. By remaining these ordinary items, she gives them new symbolic meanings. My favorite piece of her is the wind wheel. This artwork features a windmill structure powered by wind, creating a spinning effect. It also creates a fairy tale-like atmosphere. By analyzing Yufan Yang's installation art, I have been inspired to explore the concepts of installation illustration in my own work. Conclusion. By researching and analyzing these artists' creative works, I have not only improved my aesthetic sensibility, but also found myself amazed by their innovative approaches. Those "I didn't know you could create like this" moments. This has been incredibly inspiring and has pushed me to continuously grow in my own creative journey. That sums up my experience of learning from and being inspired by other artists. Thank you for listening to my presentation.